right?
Yeah.
All right. I like it.
Okay, good evening, folks. Let's pull this party together. Good evening to the regularly scheduled Downtown Development Authority meeting for the City of Rochester, Wednesday, June 18, 2025. Seeing no recording secretary, Madam Director.
Her gutters are overflowing and flooding her home.
Funny you say that.
Guess what?
Yes. Okay. Ben Giovanelli.
Here.
Mayor Salvia.
Here.
Bob Bloomingdale. Tanya Karsten.
Here.
Eric Diana.
Here.
Bob DiTomaso.
Here.
Lisa Giovanni Wood.
Here.
Paul Hay.
Here.
Roger Knapp. Tony LaPuma.
Here.
Missy Plez.
Here.
Don Sickles. Marilyn Trent.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Excellent. I just discovered my microphone wasn't on, so hopefully people can hear me now. Good evening and welcome, and thank you for coming out in the stormy evening. I think we're in between stuff right now, so we'll try and put the hammer down. I guess there was a tornado in Fraser today.
Oh.
Kind of crazy.
Royal Oak.
Oh, Royal Oaks?
Heading this way.
So in Birmingham, we got a lot of rain. I didn't see anything.
We got a bunker here.
Sweet, let's go. Shh, not supposed to tell everybody. All right, first thing on the agenda, the approval of the meeting minutes from May 21, 2025. Is there any questions with respect to the minutes, or is there a motion on our future?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Diana. Any support to approve the minutes?
I'll second.
Support by Jermani Williams. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Audience comments. Well, seeing nobody except for Mr. Nick. Thank you for coming again, Mr. Nick. We appreciate your attendance as
Do we
usual.
have a clerk today?
Huh?
Do we have a clerk?
We just got done talking about that. Her gutters were overflowing, so
Oh, okay.
Christy's standing in.
Flooding
so-
her house.
Yeah, plus we're alive, so that's like, it's fine. Everything's fine. It's gonna
All
be fine.
fine.
Liaison reports, City Council. Good evening, Honorable Marilyn Trent. Nice to see you.
Nice to see everyone this evening as well. On May 27th, we had several recognitions for volunteer work for our city. And we recognized four adults, Dinosaur Hill volunteers, and 3 children for the President's Volunteer Service Award, and they have volunteer levels from 500 hours or more to 275 plus. And children they put in 49 hours, so they got a certificate and a pin and recognition and a big thank you for helping run Dinosaur Hill. Dave Carter was given recognition for his work and caring for Mount Avon Cemetery. And lo and behold, we approved sidewalk sales and dancing in the street. That was easy. We got a trail update from, was it McKenna? I don't know.
ASEO, AEW.
Oh, okay, AEW. It's 70% complete, the design is 70% complete, and they are saying they're gonna add clay and not use sand anymore, because apparently sand doesn't work very well. And they're actually gonna put a culvert in, because that's what it needed all along. So the water will go through instead of collapse it. So they're gonna have 10-foot wide, it's gonna be 10-foot wide with a 5-foot shoulder. And they're working to preserve the rookery because the birds were going to go on strike and they didn't want that. And they want to preserve the wetlands for the birds and the preserve area. And they're working with Eagle on this. So then they'll figure out, then once they get this set, they'll send it out to to bid. Once the design is done, they send it out to bid. Okay, so then there is another little washout, but it's minuscule compared to the one at the Rookery. It's the Clinton River Trail retaining wall that's on the South Street Bridge. And it goes right, it's at the Suave, next to the Suave land, Suave development. And so they are working on trying to figure out 2 ways they can go. One is cheaper than the other. So I don't know, what are they looking for? Are they looking for Eagle to approve that one? Yeah, so one's really expensive and probably done the right way, and the other way is probably putting it back, which will make it last a few years, I don't know. Don't quote me on that one. So June 9th, Senator, that was the end of that meeting. June 9th, Senator Weber came, gave us an update. The House passed a $3.1 billion road fund. The good news is there's more money for cities for roads now. It's the new road fund, which is a shared fund from the state for city and county roads, because there are a lot of city roads, and we have a high percentage of city roads in our city, as we know. And so we are hopefully going to get 2.2 million in revenue.
If the Senate passes
If the
it. The
Senate
House has
passes it.
passed it, the Senate
Yeah.
needs to pass
The
it.
Senate needs to
Yeah.
pass it, but it's looking pretty
Call
good.
your senators.
Yeah, call your senators. That's the call to action. Call your senators. Tell them, yeah, we need that money. Oakland County would get 141 million. So, we're also working on getting funds for the CRT, for the Clinton River Trail washout. That's what Senator Weber said it to us. We're gonna hold him to it, that he's gonna work on that, because it could be up to $4 million. And Romeo Road is getting paved for $29,532. It's a little bit of pavement there. Dinosaur Hill Nature Preserve nonprofit donated $150,000 for trail improvements and a new trail that will connect Dinosaur Hill Trail behind the community garden and the mini forest through the Sugar Maple Grove and around to connect to the municipal park. And that will be asphalt. And the trail update, the Nature Preserve, yeah, I'm excited too. The Nature Preserve Trail update will have a thin layer of limestone put over the kind of bigger rocks that aren't quite as pleasant to walk on. So this was provided by the Alice G. Horder Trust that was strictly designated to trail improvements and to expand the children's library. So Dinosaur Hill doesn't have those type of funds to spend on other things. So it is strictly designated, and we are very thankful to Dinosaur Hill and in the memory of Ms. Alice G. Horder. So we also got approval, or we approved to accept the city council approved to accept the increase of Oakland County Equalization Division. It was an assessing increase. So there we go. That was it.
Very good. Very busy city council serving our citizens. So thank you
Yes,
for
we
that.
are.
Yeah, so thanks for that. Any questions for our liaison?
No?
Mr.
At
Bob?
one point, they said there was going to be clay available from that road project. Is that still the case? Okay.
Clay available?
Dirt that we set aside.
Oh, okay.
Lots of dirt, nowhere to put it.
Okay. Well, I'll look forward to that update. I'm getting into soil things
Right,
lately.
yeah, right.
I never thought I
You're
would.
graduating from above ground to below ground.
Yes, I'm
Mr.
really interested in all the sewer lines, all sorts of things, asphalt. and
There's a
such.
point where it gets a little overwhelming.
Yes.
Mr. Knapp?
Just curiosity, Nick, one time they were gonna realign Romeo Road.
I'll talk about that.
Is that ever gonna get done?
He's gonna, it's in his report.
I got a report for you guys, I'll talk about that when I come up.
Well, good, you can finish then, because I don't have answers to any of it.
Well, there's good
I
news.
gave you all, you know now.
It takes a
all-
village, and our luck is most people that have the answers are in this room tonight.
You
so
guys
this
know
is good.
everything I know about those last two meetings.
Very good. All right, thank you for your report. We shall move on. Chamber of Commerce, Mr. DiTomaso.
So Maggie said she will have some information for us at the next meeting, but nothing significant to report at this meeting.
Gotcha. All righty, thank you for that. We will stay tuned with bated breath. Historical Commission, Mr. Sienkiewicz, good evening.
Good evening. Encouraging and happy to hear we have 3 new members into the Historical Commission. As I reported in the past, Patricia Kane has joined the group, along with now Julia Johnson and Don Weshelitsky. So we're excited about that. Lynn Anderson reported there are no new outstanding plaques, the historical plaques. However, the group did discuss ways of advertising and seeing if we can get more people involved in that. Steve Sage indicated that he would see if they could put together a list of homeowners or homes that have been built before 1969. So we're looking forward to that. The 2026 Founders Day celebration will work in conjunction with other activities related to the 250th celebration of the Revolutionary War, with the Daughters of the American Revolution planned for the 2006 in July 2026. Carol Igbo, who put on a presentation this year at Founders Day on the Native Americans in this area, will also put on a presentation involving the Revolutionary soldiers from Oakland County. Currently, there's 4 buried at the cemetery, Mount Avon. 3 of them, they have all the documentation to prove that they were actually in the service during that period of time, and they're working on the fourth one. Heritage Days, the city will be looking to increase the participation on the Heritage Day Committee for 2026. I believe the mayor, you'll be at the meeting next Thursday.
Yes.
To provide some update and some information on that, so we're looking forward to that. The Cemetery Commission and the DAR, the 250th Anniversary Project, the cleaning of the headstones project, half of it has been done, and the results are very, very impressive.
They are.
When you go through the cemetery, especially in that corner, the northwest corner of the, northeast corner, excuse me, it really looks much different than it did in the past. So that's encouraging. The 50 local scouts and high school robotics club provided the labor, and they did, again, a great job. They cleaned approximately 30 headstones, and the second cleaning is scheduled for September of this year. They're also looking at obtaining funding for the plaque, the cemetery plaque, that they want to put into the cemetery. And as you can see from the pictures here, this is a result of an activity that the Royal Park Hotel had. They were looking for pictures and examples of what they call, what was the word they used? I can't find the word they used, but they were looking for dogs that represented a, well, let's see, I can't think of the word. But regal, that's the word.
Okay,
Regal.
Sure.
So,
They need a
according to them, what they released, after days of belly rubs and debates, tail wagging deliberations, and more awes than we can count, the votes are in, and it's time to unleash our regal Royal Park Dogs of the Year. Let's be honest, how could you choose more than just one? So they choose two, Willow on the left and Cowboy on the right.
Ruby.
So what's interesting about Cowboy, and I have some ties to Cowboy. Cowboy's mom is my
Shocking.
wife.
Gotcha.
What's also interesting about Cowboy, he's 4 years old, and his first name you have to have in the AKA register, when you register their names, because he's from the fourth litter, you have to have a D. So 4 years ago, his first name is Downtown, and he loves downtown. The stores that that they also love him is the Who Hosts a Resale Shop, the Terror Shop, Chasing Fireflies, Made in Michigan, South Street Skate, Lidl's, and the Town Country gift baskets. And he actually, when my wife starts to take him for a walk, he pulls her from our house on West 3rd Street towards downtown, because that's where he wants to go.
All right, well, tell him we got a seat for him on the board.
That's right. He's our mascot. Mascot, yep.
Oh, yes, yes.
He'll say, we're going to this store next, right?
So he really enjoys the downtown area.
All right, well, congratulations on that. That's excellent.
Yeah.
My kids are both into drift racing, and there's a famous corgi cam that goes to car shows. And it's a camera, that's on a corgi, so you're seeing everything from corgi level. It's pretty funny, so anyway. With that. Yeah, he is.
So he's a lot of fun, but trust me, a lot of work.
Yeah, you need a leaf blower in the house, I guess, right?
He's ready to play.
Well, thank you for that. I appreciate it. Is there anything else in the report?
Nope.
All right, well, that's the best part of the evening. All right, meeting adjourned. We're good. So,
Okay, we're all happy now.
congrats.
Let's
All
go.
right. Well, Cowboy's the man, and he's welcome to join the board at any point in time, especially with a bow tie like that. So although if it was blue, it'd be better. Is there any questions for our Historical Commission liaison? Seeing none, marching forward, Mr. Haig, Principal Shopping District.
Yes, the Principal Shopping District. The PSD got 2 new members, Phil Monroe and Lynn Oakes, and they put a request to City Council for Rochester opposed, approval of staff increases, and there was a big discussion about America 250 and 2026 in Rochester.
Good.
It's coming, whether we want it or not, right? So we got to get after it.
Turn straight.
Yeah, for sure. So it's good to get out in front of that, so that's great. Any questions for our liaison? Okay, seeing none, moving forward. I'm sorry, go ahead. What? Hit it.
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Just one more thing. They also did their election of officers
Yep.
this month, and they renewed the officers. Our chairperson is continuing to be Joe Lutz, and our vice chairperson is Patty Eisenbraun.
Got it. Okay, very good. All right, thank you. Yeah, that's
They
important.
only have 2 officers.
All right, anything else that I missed? All right, moving on. Mr. Knapp, Parking Advisory Committee.
I'm real nervous because this is my first presentation.
It's okay.
Ever?
Yeah, I'm thinking that you were probably the first one to make a presentation in this chamber when it was built back in the day.
Way to make him feel calm.
Actually, you know what? When you rode your bike up, I'm thinking, man, I need to start riding my bike because Roger's teaching us all something.
Yep.
Part of that is I didn't know until I got there that it's going to rain.
Oh, dear. All right. Well, it's-
Somebody give him a ride home.
Yeah, no. There you go.
Okay.
All right. I mean, it won't fit in the Tesla, otherwise I'd take it for you.
Anyway, that being said, some things that came out of that meeting would be they're going to put a 10-minute.
Is your mic on? Push the silver button right there. Up, yep, there you go.
This is important.
Not
Yeah,
the
good. I want everybody to
sophisticated-
be able to hear.
The sophisticated stuff I'm not used to.
See?
Anyway, they have a new 10-minute grace period on all the meters, which I think are going to be terrific.
Sure.
So instead of having people getting and say, gee, I just left it a minute, I should, you know,
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
minute ago or 10 minutes, 5 minutes ago. Now they're getting 10 minutes. That should help a lot. And I think people will feel better about downtown when they have a little bit of grace period like that. And we voted to have, right now they have one full-time and one part-time meter person. And they would like to have, and we voted for them to do that, have another part-time person. So when people are, he talked about all the things they do, and those meter people, and they have to go out and crank those meters, they have to take, so enforcement, sometimes I think enforcement's too strong, but that being said, you can't, if you're going to keep people honest on that and not have all the employees parking the short-term meters, you really have to do that.
Yep.
But anyway, now we're going to have another part-time guy, so when somebody's on vacation or can't come in because they're not feeling well, whatever, now police chief feels that that's going to help them a lot. And the mayor is now going to appoint a new, out of that committee, a small committee to work on parking downtown. I think it's a large problem because now the way the parking passes go out, which is so different from ever before, now, for example, the employee gets there at 4 o'clock, they take the best spots. And then, other than on the street, and then at 5 o'clock, customer comes and they got to find where they can park. They don't know that parking deck on the east side, for example, is probably half full. But if we, for example, directed the employees to park in that thing, and then the spots would be left open, because we have a very, very large amount, and we want to study all the blocks, because there's some new things happening. So that's all going to happen in this parking thing. And then the other thing, last thing I think, is the parking, the discounts for the partners. Like somebody wants to do a promotion or something, and they want to buy tickets, parking tickets, say for one of the decks, they can do that. But they're now going to be able to get a little discount for doing that. So if they have a large amount of people. Sure. Anyway, did I complete that?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Didn't want to add anything? Okay.
All right, fantastic. Yeah, it's a thorny subject, and as we used to say on council, we can't legislate morality, unfortunately, so people are going to have to step up the politeness, to quote Chief John. Any questions for our parking committee liaison? All right, great. I will, to the extent that we can help, I know that you're on it for us, so, and the mayor wears multiple hats, so we'll make sure. Yes, ma'am.
Just a quick question. So it's one full-time employee and then 2 part-time, is that what you said?
That'll be the future. It'll be 2
For the
part-time,
future?
yes.
Okay. Is it in, which budget is in? city?
It all has to go to city council yet.
Okay.
So that's coming to.
Has to come to council, yeah.
Recommendation to council Monday.
Oh, so that's the recommendation will be
Yeah,
coming.
yeah.
Okay. I'm just trying to get my
I
notes
should
right.
have that.
Coming soon to an agenda near you.
right.
On Monday.
All right, fantastic.
Just
All right,
making
thank
sure
you for
I'm
that
getting it
report.
right.
We appreciate it. All right, it's that time of the year, friends. Election of DDA officers. So typically, back in the council days, the leader would step down and the attorney would take over. So I don't know what the exact process is, but I guess we hand it over to Christy. Your current slate is, I'm your chair, Tony's the vice chair, and Tanya's the secretary. To the extent that anybody else wants to toss their hat into the ring for any of those positions, or the ones that currently have it, say, this has been great, but I would like to move on.
It's a very hard job, so.
Speak now or forever hold your peace. Okay, so with that, in terms of my service, I think we still have a lot of work to do, so I'm excited and I'm happy to continue with this role. Mr. Vice Chair, what say you?
I'm in.
All right, brother, that's excellent. Tanya?
Yeah.
All right, very good. So with that, Madam Director.
We will be looking for a motion. We can approve all three with one motion.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second that.
Whoa. All right, there you go.
Nobody wants those jobs, all right.
It's like this, everybody step forward.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Mr. Chairman, the board is
I
yours.
can keep going. Excellent. That's great. Be careful what you ask for, as they always say, right? Mr. Banda, Economic Development Update. Good evening, Mr. Manager.
Good evening, everybody. Congratulations to the officers. Thank you for continuing your service. We love it.
Hey, he is the volunteer of the year.
He is, I was gonna
That's
say, I'm sure Christie's gonna bring that up, but it was I'll start with, it was one of the best nights I've had in this town. The Roxy was rocking. What a perfect place for the Main Street event. Most of you were there and celebrated. You should celebrate yourself. Ben, that was like the coolest award. Just to watch your face, Taylor's face, Christie's face, Jenna's face, everybody that didn't know you guys were gonna get those awards. That's confirmation of what you're doing and what you're doing for the community in front of your peers. And that was pretty special. And the town showed really well that night. We were 3 for 3. Christie got noticed as the queen of all downtown Main Street
I
managers.
think that's what the plaque said, but sure.
Something like that. And then, again,
We
being,
have another plaque.
this isn't like 2 or 3 people or 2 or 3 people or businesses in a category. There's 14, 15.
Yeah, this was the entire county and
And
tons
you
of
guys
people,
still,
so-
we nailed all
Crushed it.
3.
Yeah.
And volunteers, so that was really awesome.
Can
So-
I run down just what they were since you brought it up? So as was alluded to, Volunteer of the Year for the entire county went to Ben Giovanelli.
I mean, speech. It's great to be recognized, but the first thing is, it's us, right? So I was just accepting that on behalf of us and all the hard work that everybody does, and really all the volunteers in this community. So without the volunteers, it's the straw that stirs the drink. So it was nice to be, right? So thank you.
Yes.
But I am, I'm not very one to ever accept those kind of things. So I'm just like, all right, fine.
Famous.
Sneak out. So that's good.
And then the community event of the year went to the Kris Kringle Market Expansion. So Taylor and Jenna went up to accept that award. And then Small Business Innovation of the Year went to Home Bakery for the Ross St. Brown Detroit Lions promotion. So,
And then you guys. say what
And
you-
Christie,
and then I don't know, there's some plaque that says something, I don't know, but.
couple years.
25 years in Main Street, Oakland County, and it's.
And here.
You're right, yeah, 100%. There's people like, oh my God, you've been, that's really.
The average is 3 years.
Exactly.
So we're super blessed to have the staff. and
See,
the
it makes me
commitment that we
nervous,
got.
because I don't know if you guys are like looking for like the new model, or like, I don't know, so I'm like, okay.
We're good.
I'm just nervous, like they're gonna come poach you.
It's all AI now anyway.
Oh, they
so
always
we're all
try to
good.
poach me, I haven't gone.
And then, so the other thing too is that we all got checks. So we got $2,400 towards the kitty for whatever. So I got 800, the girls got 800, and
For the home bakery,
Oh,
so
yeah,
it all
home bakery.
goes, it all comes into the DDA.
Yep.
So we have $2,400 to
we'll buy
spend on
ourselves something pretty. It's going to be great. So, but yeah, it was a fantastic night to Nick's point. I mean, it was packed. I mean, we had to
Biggest
park. I was
crowd
at the
ever.
top of the structure, and I wasn't really that late. So I was like, all right, this is cool. So Rev Gen for the city was great, represented well. John did a fantastic
He
job.
did.
John
He's
Bry, he
awesome.
just nailed it. Got a chance to talk to the county executive. It was funny when Julie, my wife, and I were walking up. The guys get out of their Buick out front, and he's got, strapped with guns. I'm like, oh, don't worry, dear, he's just the sheriff. They're there to take care of the county executive. It's all fine. Nothing to see here. Move along.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was a great time. So thanks for that. And thanks for being there, Nick. We weren't sure if you were going to.
No,
Right?
I was,
Grace
the
us with
mayor
your-
said, hey, No, I wanted it to be there. That was great. That was a great night.
And if I could just mention, Glenn from the Roxy, he donated
He donated
the
that space.
venue.
Oh, did he? Fantastic.
Yeah, so they paid for the food and the band and all that, but he donated the venue. And this
Well,
is the
I'm sure
second year in
the
a row
open
that he's
bar,
done
they did
that.
okay on it, so it's
Yes.
fine. So-
Yeah, so we thank Glenn for that.
Did really good. It was a great night.
Yeah, it was
really
packed.
So, all right, so a couple things. Don, I got the list to Steve Sage. We got all the buildings that were built the year that you mentioned, so we already got him that list. He was very happy about that. So we can use that to try to push out, send letters out to folks saying, hey, you're eligible to get a plaque. So Anthony and Marcy were able to go through our database through BSNA and get that. So that was taken care of. So
Is that
check
older
box.
than 69 or 69 and older?
69
Is
and
it
older.
50?
Oh, then I'm getting one.
50 years.
Okay.
That's weird.
And
My
you
house
have
would
it on your
actually be-
website?
I know.
yeah.
Okay.
So, all right, so we'll talk a little bit about economic development. We'll start with the private sector. So, Dakatala has started the renovation on his property. We found, he got through there's a lot of things going on his site, obviously. The deck was falling apart, the underground parking, landscaping, et cetera. So Chief John stayed with him, city council stayed with him, and they started the rehab on the paving already. They had to run conduit. They're literally covering the plaza with new concrete that's exposed aggregate to keep it as a parking spaces in front of Silver Spoon and Ernie's and stuff. So we're excited to have that going. And he's actually gonna put control arms in his parking lot because there's so many events going on the weekends in the park that everybody, if we're heavily using lot 10, then the people park in his lot. And it's kind of frustrating for him. So we're like, we can't write tickets there, so you could tow them. There's signs up, or you could control the access points if you like. So you can see right now the parking lot's cut up. That's what he's doing, to put some control gates, I think, to be used whenever he wants to, so that's fine. The elevator, still waiting on 6 pieces of pipe before they can start digging underground. The site's been cleaned up, but you need special clay pipe that's all wrapped up because it's gotta sit in contaminated dirt and groundwater. So once they get those last bit of pipe, then you're gonna see a lot of activity going there. Hopefully they go above ground in the fall. That's the goal. So that's the elevator site. You're gonna start seeing a massive amount of earth moved at the bottom of Walnut and Second. So the Randazzo Group got through all their Eagle approvals, brownfield with the city. They've got about a $3.2 million cleanup. First step is remove it all. This is a little different than some of the other sites that are contaminated where there's heavy metals, like at the Rewald headquarters, et cetera. This is just bad dirt from dumpster transfer stations back in the day. So they're gonna literally excavate 350 double tandem trucks out, go up diversion to Main Street and go south to take it to a landfill. So the first step is to clear that dirt out, stabilize it, and then they can start construction, which this is gonna take a little bit of time. So they will not come on Walnut first. They will not come into downtown with those trucks. We had a huge meeting with their staff to make sure how we're gonna handle that, so we have no disruption going down First Street to Harding. It's gonna go the other way, right to Main Street, so we're excited about that. The Collage family purchased Soul Sisters Building and Smith Jewelers. Have projects going on for both of them. At Smith Jewelers, they're gonna do an English-style pub. It's gonna have its public hearing at the Planning Commission next month on the first floor, then they're gonna have private offices above there. They needed, I think, 7 parking spaces that they're gonna buy, that they're deficient on parking. They're gonna redo the face of the building. We've tried to work with historical folks, but it's really bad brick, so they're gonna kind of make a replica, kind of like what Pashko did. So it'll look fresh, but still kind of Rochester-esque.
It
if
looks
they can.
nice.
Yeah, it's a good rendering. They're gonna redo the back too, because there's a lot of wonky stuff going on back there, and they're gonna clean that up and make it look a lot better, be more efficient in the back there, because it's a shared parking lot. The other building, they're going to look to put an organic breakfast place in. That will have to go to the Planning Commission for a parking waiver, I think of 6. Upstairs, they're doing a Pilates studio, so they got through that with Randy, worked out all that, so they're gonna do that first, get the English pub going, and then come back and do that. Mark came in, and he's looking at putting a second story on the back half over the tequila part to do smash burgers. So he loves those, and he said, it's a whole idea. In the summer, he said, the Italian food at DeMarco's is pretty heavy, so they're not as busy, believe it or not, in the summer as they are in the winter. He likes to keep his staff busy, so the taco and tequila place is doing great. So then the smash burgers would be good for the summer, and they'll have outdoor dining on the top, kind of garage doors open up. It's just a small addition on the roof, but it should look pretty cool. So that's going to the Planning Commission next month also. we're working with Kimmy K today, we just figured it out, so they're putting a different vendor in their second floor, so Christina met with Jeremy, and we went out to the site and made sure parking works, so they don't need any parking waivers, which is great, because they have credited for a lot of parking, because they were a salon with 20 stations in there at some point. So that's being redone. The collision shop is under contract now for lease. So I talked to Roger about this. So James Riley owns the collision shop, 1120 South Main, and they're going to put I'm going to call it a high-end physical therapy facility there. So somebody's going to dump a bunch of money there, double the size of the building, repay the parking lot, do all the landscaping, fix the backside along the alley, and it's appointment only, like cryogenics and things, so it's kind of high-end stuff. So this group wants to be there, low traffic impact, so that's good. Would love to have that put together with the cleaners, but you just can't make the numbers work. The land is $2 million between those two projects. So the cleaners, guy went out to LA, met with the owners out there, made a deal, and he's a private wealth strategy guy, him and his son, so they're gonna make that their own private office. So I bet you he dumps $1 million into that project. Same thing, clean it all up, maybe we could put lights back on, he said, if we clean it up, redo the front, et cetera. So it would've been nice to have them down, but we tried, 6 times, Mayor, we've been through planning commission a bunch of times, and you have to put too big a building to make the numbers work there, so they're gonna renovate what's there, which is fine, we'll get an upgrade there. Let's see, collision cleaners, communicate, all right, so now let's go to construction projects. So you guys are gonna have a very busy summer, but by the end of this fall, the whole core of downtown's gonna look like it's brand new. So we have mill and fill dollars, right? So in our long-term plan, the DDA had X amount of dollars set aside every year for your capital projects, and the city has their side set aside. So our side, the city side, we'll call it our, speaking of the city, we're going to focus this year we met with the asset committee, and we're gonna pull forward like 3 years of funding in order to do the east side curb project. So there's a big part in the middle of Stony Point, Stony Point, that the curbs have been crumbling. We did Milgonquin and Rock Valley last year, and we tried this. We cut sections, 3 feet sections of curb up, and then mill and fill the road. Problem is, to do that, you have to take out about 4 inches away from the curb. I know this is getting in the weeds, but if you did it that way, the road looks horrible. Rock Valley, Rock Valley, I used to live on Rock Creek a long time ago. Rock Valley and Milgonquin were eligible to have the whole roads milled and filled. So the road looks great, curbs look spotty. Met with the east side folks, their HOA, asset committee, and decided, you know what, we're gonna do it right. We're gonna rip all the curbs out on, I think it's 4 streets, fix all the curbs, and then mill and fill the streets, because we'll have a total complete job. To do that, we pulled 3 years of dollars forward so that we can get those 2 sections done, and then they won't have any work there for the next couple of years. But it's the right way to do it. New DPW Director Schaefer was insistent on, we don't want to come back on Rock Valley. In 5 years, we're going to have to go back and backfill those curbs that didn't get fixed, so that weren't wrecked at the time. So that's where we're at here. The DDA, you're going to see things like this. So the city's doing part of First Street from South Castell, where it goes into Harding, all the way to the top of the hill to Wilcox. The DDA is going to do from Wilcox down, whatever the boundaries are. The whole First Street's gonna get done from the bottom of the hill all the way to the top of the hill, let's put it that way. So that's a partnership between the city and the DDA. 3rd Street, there's a little spot in between Pine and Oak that wasn't finished when we did the rest of 3rd Street. That's gonna get completed. All of Walnut and all of Pine, from 1st and 2nd, all the way to 4th and in University on Pine case, on the Walnut case, is going to be repaved. So mill and fill, quick projects, but it will be a brand new road. Obviously on Walnut, the long range plan someday was to use a road diet, do something to make that kind of cooler. We need to get by 5 years. So we're gonna repave that, and we talked about maybe a bike lane possibly on Walnut, if there's a way to do that based on the width. So we're gonna figure that out. But those projects are gonna get done this summer. So virtually every street in the core downtown is gonna have a new surface on it, which is pretty exciting. I think we're all fired up for that. Speaking of the trail, today we got the second half, this giant check, which we're gonna bring to the city council meeting, the first meeting in July. of $1.2 million from the Foundation of Southeast Michigan is putting towards the trail. We have another $596,000 that we got from the Ralph C. Wilson Foundation. We got $96,790 from the DNR that helped pay for the engineering. We talked about dirt, so we were approached by the contractor that's doing the 96-inch water main in DeQuinder. He had a lot of blue clay that he had to get rid of. He has to drive it all the way to Brighton. So he's like, don't you guys need some clay for your trail? So we talked, got a seal from AEW, got a hold of Eagle, and we had to do this quick. And we're like, we can't wait 6 months for you to decide, are you gonna let us rebuild that dip in blue clay? That's the base of it all, not sand, or we don't wanna build retaining walls so we don't have to, blue clay. Answer was yes. So they took that earth, delivered it to the former water treatment plant down by Leduc, and they did that all last winter. So we have, I think, 5,000 yards of blue clay. We think that's worth $300,000 or $400,000. So our guys literally can back down the trail and dump it on our time, on straight time, not having to pay somebody to do that, and save a lot of money towards that trail project. So then we met with the Oakland County Parks folks, and they were successful in their bonding for parks. They have more money they can spend right now, quite frankly. And so Chris Ward, we've got a good relationship with him. Mayor went and met with him. I met with him about 3 or 4 times. And right now, to get to that magic number, which is around $3 to $4 million for both projects, what Marilyn talked about, the little washout, talk about that in a minute, and the big one. So we're short about $686,000. So that's what Chris is going to ask the county for, to kick into that, which would get us right where we need to get. Then we can bid it out, and then we can get going maybe even in August to start this. So we need one more approval from Eagle. They've kind of got a nice guy, but a new guy, and he's struggling through making a decision. We just need him to say how we want the water to be 2 feet deep on the north side of the trail. We're good. 3 pipes in it. We're fine. Let's get going. So knock on wood, we should be there. Met with Trident, which is Suave, 2 days ago. No, I'm sorry, last Friday, and had a long conversation about their plans on the overlook, on Milltown. Are they looking at doing something there? More importantly, it's like, hey, you guys designed the river and moved the trail. We swapped land, right? How'd you like to pay for, it's only $350,000. You guys pay for fixing the river. Well, they didn't exactly say yes, but they're gonna consider it. But it's their land that's getting eaten away, technically not ours. It's our trail, but it's their land. So we're gonna work with them on that, but no matter what, I think we have a solution finally. Eagle was pushing too hard again about, they needed all this research done on the river. How was it done before? Why did it fail? We don't care, it failed. We know a way to fix it. We need to back slope it, put rocks in, stabilize it, we're done. And we need 17 feet from Suave to make it cheaper, way cheaper, like $200,000 cheaper. So we're gonna meet next Thursday and hopefully come to an agreement on that. So that's good. Let's see. MDOT, Roger, you asked about Romeo. So is it okay if I give MDOT update? So after staff meeting, we brought the whole team in from MDOT. So Lori Swanson, some of you remember her, she was the lead. Back in the day, she was the lead on Main Street back in 2012. David Anderson, who used to be our DPW director, he now works for MDOT. He works for Lori at the Oakland Transit Center for MDOT. And then they brought in their lead guy, Doug Kraus, something. He's been, you see his name on everything. He's the lead design guy for MDOT on the project that's going to go from M59 to the south, bless you, to the South Bridge, and then from the North Bridge, Paint Creek to Tinkin. So all along, they've been talking about this project being done at one time. So David called me last week and said, can we just sit down and talk? We don't have, we want to hear your guys' side of what you expect and what you think is going to happen. So it took an hour and a half or something, and I had my whole team in there, and I think they were very appreciative of hearing our history. It helped that Lori knew it, downtown, the impact that it had. They're doing 2 other projects like this that they're trying to learn, have us help other people that have done downtowns over our experience, what works, what doesn't work, and then turn that into this project. So by the end of that meeting, I'm gonna say, I'm pretty confident that they're gonna do it this way. there's 3 segments. It goes from M59 to Avon, that's a mill and fill. They don't have to, and curb work. So that's in Rochester Hills, right? It's pretty beat up, but they can mill that road to, 3 inches, then 2 1.5 inch overlays and fix the curbs. That's not a brutal project, but you know how many driveways are all the way there. That's, staging's gonna be tough. Then the second phase is from Avon to the bridge. That is rip that entire road out and put in new storm sewers, everything. That's a massive process. Then the third step is from our bridge, like I said, at Paint Creek to Tinkin. That is going to be widened 6 inches on each side.
Getting a foot?
So what they're gonna, yeah, so we're gonna get a foot. Now, this is what we found interesting. So Rochester Hills, I'm gonna say it's demanded that the speeds on that road from 59 to Avon are horrible. A lot of conflict points. I go to Tim Hortons every morning and you almost die coming out of that driveway unless somebody's nice to you every single morning. So they want a road diet. They want the lanes down to 11 feet. Right now they're 12. They want them skinnier to make people slow down. So MDOT said, well, ours north of the bridge are only not even 11 feet. So we're gonna get ours widened to 11 feet. Right now, our center turn lane is 8 feet, 6 inches wide.
It's terrifying.
It's terrifying. It is. So they're gonna make that also 11. So we're gonna have 2 11s southbound, 2 11s northbound, and 11 in the middle. So ours will feel wider. Theirs will feel shallower. Theirs will feel a little bit skinnier. So, so we talked about what has to happen on our segment, just from Paint Creek to Tinkin, is go down to the bottom of the storm sewer. That's some places 24 feet deep. You're talking a major project. We, the city, have been saving up our dollars through our water fund. Lucky there's been a delay. This was supposed to be done in 24, then 25, then 26. With this delay, we, the city, were able to get enough dollars that we can pay for a $3.2 million water main relocation. So right now, those water mains are really old. There's one of them is 100 years old, literally. And we don't have cross ties. If something happens on one side, you could put the whole side of town out of water. So Corey and our engineers designed the water system, and they're gonna do it as part of their project. We're gonna pay for it. Now we can cash fund it. We don't have to bond. We don't have to raise rates. We've been planning for this, so very exciting for the city. So we're gonna do all that. We have a lot of storm sewer problems on the west side of Maine by Albertson, Griggs, up in there. So all that's because it goes into Main Street into a 24-inch pipe. Again, sorry about getting in the weeds here, but, and the head builds up and back goes in and backflows into the alleys, causing a lot of problems for folks, some people's basements. So we're getting a new 48-inch sewer that's gonna go on the other side of the street, tie everything in, and where, you know where our waterfall used to be?
Yes.
We just can't keep that working ever. We've tried for years. A 48-inch pipe's gonna come down that waterfall now, and that'll be a natural waterfall, because the water's constantly, it's gonna come through it, storm water, so, that's okay. So that's ripping up a lot of that bridge, trying to tie into that site, so, so they decided that we're gonna split this into 2 years. So they're gonna do, looks like for sure, they're gonna do it, they have to meet with the Hills and confirm. They'll go 59 to the bridge, South Bridge, next year, in 27, sorry. They'll start March of 27, they'll bid it out in November of 26, and then they'll wait a whole winter and then do ours in one section from the bridge to Tinkin in 28. So they committed to keeping one lane open on one side of the road each time. They're not, we offered, would it be better to just shut it down and get it done quicker? And they're like, not this way, everything's crisscrossing, so they need to be able to keep half of it open and half of it closed. So it was a great meeting. I think they were happy that we were willing to work with them. We don't like the fact that it will impact downtown for 2 summers. There's great detour routes, but there'll still be a constant flow through downtown. The side streets, people will be able to get to the main street. So that's good. So that was a important step. It's gonna happen. They have the funding and they're not worried about it getting pulled. So that looks like that's gonna happen. So we're gonna have them come to city council, make that presentation so that we can tape it, show it to everybody, and David and Lori are gonna come back and do that. So I think that's pretty much it. Yep. Questions? Roger. Oh, sorry, I forgot to answer your question. Romeo intersection. So when we redesigned the road, meeting with the Dairy Queen people, the Romeo people, the condo people, we found there's no reason it will really mess up Dairy Queen. They can't really switch their whole flow. They were very adamant about it. We listened to them. And after meeting with MDOT and designing that, what we decided to do is just make a wider, we already had the property, we had purchased it, a wider radius going northbound off of Romeo, right? So it'll be easier for trucks to turn. It's pretty tough right there. So that's all that's gonna get done. We're getting new mast arms, new signals, new light poles, new sidewalks. All that's part of the project. It's not just a road, but not realign it like we were looking at, which would have been, I think, $480,000 of the DDA's money just to do that. So now we're not doing that.
That
So,
sounds like a good solution anyway, just cutting that corner up. I have a couple more.
sure.
One, who's gonna back those trucks up probably 3/4 of a mile with the truck, the dump that?
So that's what our guy, so that's what our guy said they wanted to do. And after we met with Seal's like, I found a spot I can make a little, like roundabout, a little cul-de-sac, so they can go this way and spin around and come out, because I know that's kind of our joke too, like, it'd be good practice for backing up. I'm like, that's like 3/4 of a mile. So I think we'll have to disturb a little more land, but there's a spot right by the gates where Pfizer has that we can do a turnaround, be much more efficient, so, good point.
Two more things. You know where Quick Pick is down there? It's always occurred, they're always short of parking down there. And one of the reasons that they're short of parking is because that opening is so wide. It's so much wider than it ever needs to be. And with the new things happening down there, I suppose they're gonna have their own opening. Maybe you can kind of look at that.
Okay.
Close off some of that.
That's fair. Yeah, you're right. That's extremely wide there. And I think that the people that are doing the collision shop and the cleaners, if they have to touch their approaches, I'm gonna guarantee you MDOT's gonna say, no lefts in, no lefts out, which would make it narrower. So there might be room to work there.
The last thing is there any thought you're gonna pave that trail from DeQuinder to the trail, the Pink Creek
Yep.
Trail?
So, yes, there was thought. So there's.
And Suave, can he pay
Yes.
for that part of it?
No, that's not his. I could ask.
I mean, the whole thing, though. I mean, where this property
Yeah.
starts from the Pink Creek Trail
Yeah.
around, they've got partly, it's a checkered thing, and if they can.
So you're making me think of something else. So we got a grant from a private group that they're gonna make where Elizabeth dead ends into the trail. They're gonna make like a little roundabout there for bicycles. It's really cool. Landscape it, couple benches in the middle. So it's like where the two trails to come together and put a kiosk that explains everything there. So we talked to a lot of folks, and when MDOT was doing DeQuinder, as they're paving, it was like, do you want to even think about paving that trail? So bikers would love it paved. Walkers don't want it paved, too hot on their feet. So we can't get a consensus on pave or don't pave. So it's just gonna get resurfaced properly. The drainage is being fixed by the ice arena. We got a way to fix that now finally with the DeQuinder. They're redoing the intersection where the trail crosses DeQuinder, they're redoing that whole thing. So then they fixed all the drainage, so that won't be wet up there anymore, but we're not gonna pave it at this point.
I find that amazing, because probably 85% of the trails in Michigan are paved.
I know.
Everywhere you go, they're paved. And I mean, it's so rare that you see it.
I know.
But I don't understand why walkers would not want it.
Yeah, it seems, I would agree with that, but the consensus, when we worked with the Trail Commission and everybody, and they're like, yeah, we can't get a clear do it or don't do it. Macomb is paved all the way to Romeo. So it's like, why, Armada, why wouldn't, we were not fighting that fight. The Trail Commission's like, leave it alone. Just make it a better surface and call it good. It's like, okay.
Whoa, all right. No, Marilyn, please, ladies first.
Oh, okay, well, I always ask you this, and you're probably gonna say no, but where, our shared collapse washed out trail with the Suave group, or do they have anything to say other than anything about development, other than their trail?
So
Like when
whenever,
they build something?
yeah, whenever, so I can't say too much, but when they bring somebody from the family into the Suave group, there's a young man, I think it's his son-in-law, Nico. Nico, I met him years ago. He's kind of been taking over Virginia and Naples. So they're done, pretty much building Naples, Virginia. They're spending their money right now in West Bloomfield and Birmingham. They just finished 2 big projects there. So Nico is the one who called me with Tom Turnbull and said, okay, now I'm back in town, I want to start talking about this. Their last market rate study was 7 years ago, and he's like, the numbers just don't work. They're publicly, they're in for 5.7 million on Milltown before they start, by cleaning it up, moving the river, all that stuff. So he's like, it's hard to number that out to make anything work in this day and age, and it's like, let me explain, you have two different projects. Overlook is next to OPC. You would build condos there and never build an amenity for anybody in your facility. You would just go next door and use the OPC. You don't need $72 million condos there. You need 40, 50, make a market rate. Their market rate is $750, whatever. Oh, there's a lot of folks from Oakland Township still coming here trying to relocate down, and people in Rochester that want to be up by OPC. So I said, separate those projects. Look at that. Look at the market. So he is, and he's, like I said, next Thursday they're going to give me the results. So Milltown, they now realize that most of that land is really tough to build on. It's like, we didn't tell you to. You owe us 1,152 trees. I have a letter of credit that the mayor's very well aware of for $752,000 worth of trees. And pretty soon, someone's just gonna put their foot down and say, if you're never gonna build, plant all those. And then what are you gonna do? So from the old trail to the river, that's really not buildable. Donate that to the city, make it a forest, and then call it good. So Nico heard that from me. And he's taking it back to the family. And I suspect that they're not gonna sit on it forever. And what I did tell him, and I don't mind saying this, is that be careful, because what I didn't talk about was Joey LaChurco is ready to go on 251 diversion. So next to the bridge, it's only 17 condos, but they're really cool. Randazzo's is 134 plus apartments, plus 17 condos. The elevator is 44 units, and Solaronics, they submitted their $10,000 application for the brownfield to start the process, and that's 44 units. If you wait too much longer, you're gonna be the last on the list we might not need more apartments or condos, because you're overbuilding for the town that we can't fix the traffic. So if you want to be serious, you need to get in and talk to us, because we just did our master plan. We know what we'd like to see, but it can't all happen at once. It's not going to work. So I think I got their ear, and I think we'll hear something. So we're going to see a lot of things going on. Finally, it's been how long? Mayor says it all the time.
7 years.
How long she's been here, and
No one's built in my
nobody's
town.
building anything. So,
No, somebody built in my town.
I think they're ready to start now, so it'll be an exciting time.
Well, Mr.
I'm sorry.
It's good to say,
Which ones are
good to
gonna
know.
be condos?
So on the riverfront, down right on the trail, down by the bottom of the bridge, there's 17 condos. They're like duplexes, quite high end. Solaronics, if they get their brownfield, which I believe they will, the indication is they will. That's condos. That's 44 condos. The rest are market rate rentals. So the elevator, they keep switching, but that rent structure is $3,000 to $5,000 a month you get a 3-story unit of those 42 units. And then Randazzo's are all rentals. The big 2 buildings, 2 phases are rentals, and then the elevators again are rentals. So a little bit of mixture, but now the calls are coming in, the word's getting out, the admin building is gonna go out on the market here. There's some people that have built in this town that are like, I wanna build a nice little cool village there, 44 homes, 26 homes, whatever. So we like to, I want that building saved and converted. So that would be rentals probably too, but it could be lofts, it could be for sale. So we have to, again, the good news, we talked about this at our committee meeting, that a lot of these projects are walkable. And so I'm not so worried about putting a burden on the parking system, because all of these I talked about, if you can walk, except for the overlook, by the OPC, you can walk to town. So you're not gonna burden the parking system. We were talking about, we're gonna need a market. We're gonna need our own Nino Salvaggio or some little market that people can walk to eventually. I mean, we've got some around, but it'd be nice to have something in the core that would support all that.
The Graham.
Exactly, so it could be all kinds of things like that, so, but I'm not like a Ditch Groceries market.
Yeah, I'm gonna be the bag girl and the bag girl
And
and
the
all, it's been
flowers,
great.
the
Yep.
flowers and everything,
You know
yes.
it.
So all of this, there's people looking at, East Street now, so Lawrence looks like he's ready to sell the frat house thing by the parking lot. And then the guy that owns the Wealth Strategies thing wants to buy the rest of the block and make that residential, so it's like, you're about to see lots of people. That's great. It helps the merchants that people can walk down here. It helps everything, so. I think it's gonna be a fun time.
Okay.
Sorry, that's a lot.
No, well, so my first thought is, Nick, I've known you for a real long time, and your ability to remember all kinds of crap is just, it blows my mind. Dude, I don't have enough space in there, and I'm like, how the hell does he remember all that stuff? So we got the right man for the job. I know that there's so many moving parts, and while I would say that 85-90% of what Nick just said really doesn't impact the DDA directly, it does indirectly 100%. So especially with moving bodies and people downtown, so, or, within walkable distance. So lots of good stuff going on. I was always sort of worried about interest rates kind of putting slowing things down, and it did, but it looks like people have kind of figured out a way to make it work. So
I agree.
this is good stuff. We're doing the right thing at the right time, especially with the market. I think it's gonna be fantastic.
And we're really doing what I call sustainable growth.
Yep.
We're not saying yes to everything. Planning Commission's tough. They're questioning every single pay in lieu of space. They're not just giving them 12 spaces. The one development, like Roger, so it was, when we talked, it was 57 spaces they wanted. They wanted to build an office building on Main Street with no parking. It's like, not today. ANGOT did that, but back then you guys could do that. You can't do that now.
Yeah, right.
So I think the Planning Commission's got a really good point. It's some really
I know,
good
they
numbers.
took us to the woodshed a couple times, so we're good. We know how it works.
You experienced it.
100%. Mr. DiTomaso.
So when you're coming south on Tinkin or south on Rochester, you cross Tinkin in front of the Marathon, I think it is. The curb lane, that manhole cover is down a lot, and there's cracks in the asphalt. It's like a sinkhole starting. Who do you
So
tell?
I'll take a note, and MDOT, that's an MDOT thing, so usually they're on those things, but we'll make a call tomorrow.
If you hit it, because
Okay.
it's getting
Good to
worse by the day, it feels.
It's in the hills, but we'll call MDOT though.
Okay.
Okay.
Sweet. Full service. Don, go ahead, please.
Just a quick question. Do the merchants or the homeowners on Rochester Road, north of the bridge to Tinkin, are they aware of the plan?
So we were talking about that. So in 2012, we started, I started here in 2009. The day I got here, I think we started that communication. We were like a year and a half ahead. So we're out a ways, but we're going to start that communication. MDOT said, David said, I'll go to anybody's association, any church group, anything. I'll come to city council every week if you want me to, just to make sure everybody knows what's going on. So the good news for north of us, it's not till 28, so we've got some time.
Yeah, and the one thing, they're still going to Rochester Hills, because this will be a little different than Makeover, so it's working with the two cities. But also, we had asked them, once they finalize everything, to give us a nice one sheet, so that we're all speaking from the same thing, so that can start going out in communication, so it's not gonna be piecemealed, so everybody's, as what do you say, singing from the same hymnal? Yes.
Yeah, and what we'll do is, we had weekly meetings, and then we push that through to city council, whether it's me or Christie or somebody, we would give an update at council, so it's on TV, Planning Commission, let everybody know what's going on, literally on a weekly basis. That's what we were doing. And Christie said, now we have the collaboration studio. They had to rent a spot, remember, downtown? They took.
We made them. So, because we wanted to have a field office so people could come in and ask questions, and the DDA at the time was upstairs and not so desirable for everybody. It wasn't ADA accessible. So now that we have the collaboration studio, I'd offered to them if we are going to bring back the weekly meetings when it's time, and that also that we can have like a little section set up as a field office. That's also where we had put all the artifacts that they found, because keep in mind, North Main still has the rail, and it still has the brick road, and who never knows what else we might find up there.
They asked us if we wanted any more bricks.
There you go
We're like, we still have about 240,000, so we're good, so. And then, but there's potential for Indian remains things, so they've got their whole team, just like they did in Main Street, just in case, so archaeologists and all that good stuff.
Well, we may need the bricks for the, hold on one second.
Are you gonna repair, I can hardly talk, are you gonna repair the storm in front of our place?
All brand new. It's shifting.
Oh,
'cause that's a problem.
Yeah.
On the dock.
It's shifting over, because it doesn't have capacity. You're getting a 48-inch sewer on the other side of the street, they'll drain everything. It will be remarkably different when it's done.
I have one last question.
Yes, ma'am.
You talked about the admin building. Were you saying that they're gonna put it out to bid for either or?
I think from what Nick hasn't.
Rehabbing or
Yeah.
putting in a.
I don't think so. I think they're gonna say, we'll take requests for proposals. I've sent them 10 people, 5 were rehabs, 5 were demolishing. So, that's just people saying, I've done this before. They're gonna need outside dollars to help. Pontiac got a ton of money, St. Clair got a bunch of money, Marine City got a bunch of money, Richmond got a bunch of money to rehab schools. whoever's gonna do this is gonna work hard to try to find outside funds to help that, because, and the school board's gotta be realistic on what they're trying to get for that land. I mean, if they're asking $3 million, it's not gonna happen. That's a $600,000 demo, if you wanted to demo. They did their initial engineering for rehab, 24 to 34 million to rehab it. So can that number out? Maybe. It does if you get help.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
All
right.
Well, there goes my past meeting, so.
Go take a nap?
Yeah.
All right. All right.
Or I will.
I feel like we should take a break and I'll go to the bathroom after that one. All right.
I gotta.
All right,
There for a
let's
moment.
power through it. We're going to get back on track here, so I promise. Market, the Graham update, me. So no news from my last report, really. We're still waiting for the rest of the quotes come in. So we had some communications back and forth between Sean Rewald and Christie today, just kind of double checking where we're at.
DTE.
Well, the polls moved, that's true, yeah, sorry about that. The poll did get moved, thank God. So, yeah, I'm sorry. So the poll did get moved. I asked Rewald to put up construction barriers and stuff so people can kind of like not get in the way. So that's up. I drove through there the other day and it feels like that just went up. And then, so with respect to the post bids on the different pieces and the reinforcement of the dirt, so Sean's going through the finals this week. He's just asked the design team to sit in our post bid on interviews on Monday, so they'll finish the post bids this coming Monday. And if everything works out, then we're going to get together on the 25th. So by the time, and I'll continue, as these things continue, I'll send council and you guys an update as a memo. But other than the pole being moved and putting up some barriers, there hasn't been a ton of activity. So it's just, there's a lot of moving parts, and the fact that we had to deal with that, the reinforcement of the dirt out in front there on the side's been kind of a curveball. So anyway, stay tuned, news at 11. We are
We
working
have
on
some
it.
clay.
Yeah, we do. Thank God. Chief John, I understand, was the one that was the catalyst of that, so we need to give him some sort of a bonus or something on that one. So anyway, that's the quick update. As soon as I get more intel, I will pass it along to you. Downtown Summer Foot Patrol, Madam Director.
Sure. So you may recall that last year, Chief Rohibit approached us that the police department was continuing to do more community outreach. And so this wasn't as much an enforcement detail as much as just a PR detail for the police, but also it was around the same time of the Brooklyn shooting in that area. And so I think that he thought it was appropriate to have an increased police presence. We got really great feedback from the businesses downtown because in addition to just kind of walking around, they just stop in, introduce themselves, usually in teams of 2, and it was very well received. So I spoke with him a couple weeks ago. He said they'd love to continue it. It would start in mid-July and run until the end of August. And the budget last year, it was a not to exceed of $9,100. Now with staff increases, things like that, they'd like a not to exceed of $9,500. So it's up to the board if you would like to pursue it.
We've already got this in the budget, right?
We take it out of our miscellaneous.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yep.
Well, so yes.
So yes, but yes.
Gotcha. All right. So any questions, or do we want to renew this? And if so, need a motion to that effect?
Motion to approve the foot patrol
All
for
right.
this summer?
For Mayor Salvia, support?
Second.
Haig. Is expenditure on Monday, so it's roll call vote. Madam Director, the roll.
Ben Giovanelli?
Yes.
Mayor Salvia?
Yes.
Tanya Karsten?
Yes.
Eric Diana?
Yes.
Bob DiTomaso?
Yes.
Lisa Germani Williams?
Yes.
Paul Haig?
Yes.
Roger Knapp?
Yes.
Tony LaPuma?
Yes.
Missy Ples?
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, fantastic. Thank you for that. Budgetary housekeeping. All right, so this was a memo from our finance director. Apparently, we have to do a approval of the staff compensation that we already passed in the budget. It has to be done separately. So this is already in the budget. This is nothing new. This is just a paperwork, a budgetary housekeeping, as it says. So we would need a motion to approve the staff compensation per the approved budget. Unless there's any questions, a motion to that.
Make a motion.
All right, motion by, and support.
I'll second it.
Carson, support. Roll call vote. Yes, ma'am.
If I can just add, the PSD did take action since we share staff.
Yep.
So they took action at their June 4th
Yeah, I heard
meeting to
that in the
approve.
report. Yep, we got
Yep.
that one. So,
Okay, perfect.
Okay, so this is roll call as well.
Okay. Ben Giovanelli?
Yes.
Mayor Salvia?
Yes.
Tanya Karsten?
Yes.
Eric Diana?
Yes.
Bob DiTomaso?
Yes.
Lisa Germani Williams?
Yes.
Paul Haig?
Yes.
Roger Knapp?
Yes.
Tony LaPuma?
Yes.
Yes.
Missy Ples.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Excellent. Thank you for that. Executive Director update.
Thanks again to everybody who took the time to come to the main event. It was a lot of fun, and I did hear from a lot of people like, wow, Rochester, you guys like had it going on. You bet we
Well,
do.
I would say that was it the Oxford people? I mean, look, I don't know if they were all just hammered or whatever, but they were loud.
Yeah.
There are some communities that really, this is their big night out. It's a thing.
Clearly. Clearly. I mean, we're within walking distance. Those guys are like, ooh. all right,
Yeah,
hope we
there's
got
a
some
lot
Ubers
there.
coming back.
The only thing I had that's not included in my update, and I let Ben know today, we had an opportunity, Main Street Oakland County had a mini grant for technology, and I had heard through the grapevine that they didn't have as many applications as they would like. And something that we've talked about at the studio repeatedly is that our merchandise sales have increased, and we have more merchandise physically in the studio, and right now we're still just kind of managing on the back of a napkin. So we thought it might be better, and we were able to come up with a POS system, and so that integrates with the website as well as gives us terminals that we can take out to events, and also eventually with the Gram, and that also accommodates our EBT. So we put together a proposal for a POS register system, and we were informed today that we received that grant from Oakland County, from specifically the Main Street. Yep. So it's a little grant. It's $1,650, so it's a 50% match. The other half will come out of our office supply budget, because we're going to have to do something at some point. So it's, the grant is funded through MSU Federal Credit Union, and a condition of the grant is that it has to be, the big check has to be presented at a city council meeting. So I spoke with Nick, and he's going to get us on the agenda for the July 28th city council meeting. So Oakland County, Main Street will come, and representatives from the credit union, and then anyone who wants to come from here, feel free.
Big checks are my favorite.
I say,
They
we're
still
always
cash.
happy for big checks. Happy, anytime.
Yes.
Check still clear the bank. That's what I like about it.
Yes. And then if I wanted to just continue into events and marketing, Makers Market is this Saturday. Please join us. It's going to be hot as blue blazes, but while we're out there, the Love Local Art Committee is going to do our first Dotmocracy, asking people about what types of art they'd like to see in Rochester and how they like to experience art. Would they like to see it, touch it, do it, those kinds of things, and get all of that information. And if you don't have anything to do on Friday morning, we're going to be on Fox 2. Promoting the market with a bunch of products from the vendors.
Cool.
Anything else? Any questions for our director? Seeing none, we shall march forward. Events and marketing. And that was kind of both.
That was all of it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Financial report is in your packet. Any questions for the director or myself, please feel free to reach out. Biz Dev.
His dev was canceled, so.
All right, there you go. That's the best report ever, right? Just hammer it. Site development.
Nothing new?
All right, yeah, baby. Yeah, baby, yeah. We're moving
Yes.
on. All right, well, Nick took up all our time, so this actually worked out pretty well. The rest of the agenda took like 5 minutes, so I didn't let the record show Nick was like 45 minutes. Anything in miscellaneous? Seeing none, meeting is adjourned.
10:30.